Hello everyone, welcome back to another video talking geeky stuff with me. And today's video is about Godzilla X Kong, the new empire. My thoughts. Yeah, I watched this day today, Monday, a few hours ago now. And as always, spoiler alert. Not much to spoil really. It's not much of a storyline, but hey, this is what you expect from monster movies. But as usual, I always play the trailer. What I'll talk about. So, yeah, first things first, it's fun. I really like it. Very loud. I went to see in the cinema that the sound was really loud. It dwarfs the talkings or the talking scenes. And there wasn't much about that. And these films, you don't really care too much about the human beings, except for the last movie, Minus One, which is one of the few Godzilla movies where I felt that Godzilla was second, I don't know, supporting role. That film was amazing, and it's a great time to be a Godzilla fan. Minus One, this, and Monarch, the TV show, which I didn't like. I actually hated it. Don't know why. I just hated the characters and that. So I didn't even get the chance to finish after like the first 4 episodes. Just couldn't stand the characters. I couldn't watch that. Well, this one, yeah, I liked it. Out of the MonsterVerse movies, they're all pretty good. They all kind of have that 6 or 7 out of 10, in my opinion. Fun movies. My favorite one so far is still Godzilla, King of Monsters, with King Ghidorah. That's still my favorite one. Is it better than the last one, Kong versus Godzilla? I would say roughly the same. But I do like the fact this one has more monsters. And yeah, so let's go on the story. Like I said, there's not a story. And also, as for the people, the humans, this one, it wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed the human interactions, to be honest. It was just right. I had a bit of fun. Bits of characters, you know who they are. They kind of set themselves up. You kind of know what they do. There's nothing too complex about the story, relationship. It was established. Last movie, the Doctor and the last surviving kid from the Kong Skull Island, the Iwa tribe or something like that. I forgot. I think the kid's name, the little girl, it's called Gia, I think. Seriously, that's how much I don't pay attention to the human parts, but as in saying that, they were actually fun to watch. It was just right. It wasn't overblown. The director, the producers knew that the human characters were definitely like second fiddle, and the monsters were first class. I would say this is definitely more of a Kong movie. I would say Godzilla is more of a supporting role. I think it kind of suits Godzilla more. The last one, of course. I think Kong again had a bit more screen time because I think in a way that since Kong is an ape, as in the real life, gorillas, chimps, they do show human emotion. You can they know sign language. It's been proven, right? So I think in a way it was right that Kong was more of the main star because they can get more emotions out of Kong, where Godzilla is just there to kind of kick ass and take names, I suppose. So it starts off in the film in the Hollow Earth. King Kong, or Kong, sorry, Kong, was running away from a pack of kind of Hollow Earth giant wolves, a pack of wolves, or they look a bit like those kind of creatures in the Lord of the Rings, whatever they're called. No, massive. They're chasing, and then you realise Kong was there was traps, and they trapped him and killed a bunch of them. Anyway, and then the little girl was trying to integrate into society in the real world, but she's always having these kind of weird dreams, and she's drawing these kind of three pyramids and so on. And then you find that they link to a distress signal that they get from the Hollow Earth, and there was a base down there that got tramped. Of course, everyone think it was Kong, but it wasn't. You find that it was the Scar King. Yeah, and then later on you find out the little girl. Well, there's actually a lost tribe in there of the Iwa people who'd been there centuries before they were in Kong Skull Island, and they found this place where they have all this kind of scripture or whatever, like hieroglyphics. And the doctor scientist, I forgot her name, are reading it and saying that in the past, the Kongs were like the protectors, and Mothra was the bridge between Godzilla and Hollow Earth, if I remember correctly. And there was like Scar wanted to take over the land above, but Godzilla stopped him. And then the Scar King has control over a big beast called Shimu. Yeah, and that's it. And then find out that in the translation of the script, the little girl is destined was the only one who can wake Mothra up. I'm glad that Mothra is in this. Always like that character. Always like that monster. Mothra is the bridge between Hollow Earth and the above Earth. Yeah, and throughout a whole bit where you see Godzilla, so Godzilla begin fights, kind of like what does it look like, a crab monster in Rome. And then he sleeps in the Colosseum, which I thought was fun. And then, of course, all these pulsing and these signals, and you find out it's a distress signal, and Godzilla's sensing it. And he's going around, like in France, for example, absorbing the nuclear plant's power. He goes into like Antarctica, fights the Tiamat, something like that, one of the big kind of sea dragon creatures, and absorbs the creature's power. That's where it becomes kind of pinkish purple. It absorbs the power, and you kind of find out that Godzilla's absorbing all the power to fight the bigger fight. And then of course there's a lot of fights in this, and yeah, I love the one thing I found a bit kind of stupid. They don't really explain it. Is so Kong, where he set the traps for these kind of wolves, and kind of like the Earth at the bottom opens up, and there's like another Earth, Hollow Earth below the Hollow Earth. If that makes sense. So he follows it, he goes down there, and he finds out there's another kind of world down there, and that's what you see in the trailer, where you see the little Kong. I would say because he's using orange hair, so I suppose it's based more on orangutan. Then he gets ambushed. He fights three other kind of Kongs, and that's a pretty good fight. And then the little Kong takes him to the Scar King's lair. On the way there, he tricked the little Kong, which I thought was fun. There was no talking, which is, of course, I mean, these monsters don't talk, but through the emotion, I give credit where credit is. The really animated facial expressions, the body language. You can actually, know the story without even talking. And before they go to the Scar King's lair, there's a big kind of lake, and the little Kong was kind of like, you can see it's a trap, but Kong fights sort of like a sea monster, sea dragon, and so on. Anyway, back to my point where it made no sense. Where, well, finally Kong goes to the lair and see other kind of great apes in like, I don't know, like in some sort of big cave. There's lava, and they're kind of doing, I don't know, some work. Like the good old fashioned, like, I don't know, just like digging up something up. What were they doing? What were they digging up? That was a bit weird. Were they digging up gold, silver? it's like a bunch of slaves. It's like, I suppose in a way that was only a kind of visual for us viewers to look at, that to take in that Scar was a bad guy, the villain, is enslaving the apes to do something. So we can visualize that how, we humans used to enslave people in copper mines or gold mines and coal mines or whatever. But it kind of made no sense, because what would they need it for, right? Anyway, and then Kong jumps in and kind of becomes the savior, has a big fight, pretty decent fight, and you see the Scar King jumps in. You can see the Scar King's a little bit more thinner, more lankier, but much more agile. And he has this kind of tail whip, or a bone whip. Probably, at the end of the tip, he's got this kind of crystal that controls Shimu, I hope that pronounced it right, which is kind of hidden behind the lava fall. So Shimu comes out, and then you find out it's kind of like on all fours instead of standing up like Godzilla. And yeah, the power is ice. And they mentioned that Shimu was in, what would you call it? Yeah, had the part to play in the last ice age. Anyway, and you can tell that the character Shimu wasn't, a bad guy. He was just under control. So anyway, after the fight, uh, Kong has his right arm, left arm. His right arm, frozen, frostbite. So that's where Monarch so happens to have a prototype of the, what they call it, the power glove or something like that, and it so happened to be on the base in Hollow Earth, that was only 90% done, and then it attaches to it. Yeah, and then the funny bit when the little girl goes, "Hey, you can't handle this on your own, so you need to go and get some backup." And so happened that underneath where the tribe, the tribal people, our people, where the pyramids are, so like crystal pyramids, there's like a vortex that takes back to our world. And of course, Godzilla was like, he calls out Godzilla to go to Egypt, the big fight. I like the fight between Kong and Godzilla. It's like 1 round each. Kong, I think, won the first round, and Godzilla won the second round. Godzilla about to smoke him again, and Mothra comes in and kind of like, "Hey guys, chill." The little girl comes, yeah, the little girl arrives where the pyramids, I think, it's kind of warped, or must have traveled with Mothra, and then she telepathically probably links herself to Godzilla and tells Godzilla, "Look, shit is going down. You need to team up." And then next thing you know, the little kind of they jump into the vortex back to a hollow world, and they both land in this where you see the trailer where Godzilla teams up with Kong running and a big fight. And then something happened. Yeah, it's going to be something about gravity, and the gravity go crazy. It's a pretty good fight with the gravities are all messed up, and yeah, of course, that was the first round. The second round is they take the fight into Brazil. Yeah, Brazil, big fight there, which is cool. And then the little Kong comes and saves, well, kind of saves, because while they're jumping into the vortex back to our land, Kong kind of left his axe, and the little Kong took the axe and took it to Kong, and before the little Kong gave it to Kong, hope that makes sense, smashes the crystal that controls Shimu, and Shimu kind of out of how to say, the Scar King loses control over the Shimu, and Shimu kind of like, "Fuck this, I'm gonna blast you with I'm gonna make you ice," and iced him, and then Godzilla holds him up, smashes him to pieces. That's about it, really. It's a fun film. I was laughing sometimes because there's a funny bit when the fight in Egypt. Godzilla suplex Kong. I actually laughed out loud now. It was actually pretty cool. It was, I suppose, it was. I mean, I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch it again. See, this is the kind of tone I like. It wasn't too serious. It was just fun. He had just enough sense of humor. A lot of fights, loud noise. I mean, the last one was good as well. I would say they both ran evenly matched, but the last one, they're trying to make it serious, and I think that's where it kind of fell short a little bit. But I prefer the set pieces, because I did like the fight between Kong, or Godzilla and Kong team up versus Mecha Godzilla. I did like that scene. Prefer the final fight in the last one than this one. But this one, on the plus side, it kind of knows where it stands, because it was pretty stupid, but fun stupid, not stupid. So I enjoyed it. A lot more monsters. I felt Kong really, established character. I really hope they make another one. It looks like it, because he's already making a lot of money worldwide box office. I think about 190 million worldwide. So yeah, and it's also a change as well, because there's no wokeness. It's just straightforward. Nothing too confusing. Straightforward. Yeah, like I said, I give this probably give this a 7 out of 10. Straight up fun, but Some parts are stupid, but like I said, stupid fun. Yeah, go and watch it. Switch your brain off for about, what was it, nearly 2 hours. Yeah, go and watch it. Anyway, that's it for now. And until next time, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world, and do stay safe. Goodbye.